Well, folks, good morning. Welcome to another daily devotional. We're still thinking of some of the characteristics of love that we have in 1 Corinthians 13. And this morning we're in verse 6, where the Apostle Paul says, "Love does not rejoice in unrighteousness." Another translation is, "Love does not rejoice in wrongdoing," or "it does not take delight in what is offensive to God." There's a parallel passage in the prophecy of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 50 and verse 20. "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who substitute darkness for light, bitter for sweet, sweet for bitter." Think of the situation that existed in Corinth, where earlier on in the letter Paul speaks about there being divisions among them and cliques and people taking each other to court and so on. You can imagine that in that environment, people would be more than willing to listen to and to believe rumours, bad reports about others in the church who happen to be in perhaps one of the other groups. And if they heard something bad about another believer who was part of that other group in a church, they would rejoice in the fact that ill had come into their lives or that they had been caught out in doing something. Paul says love is not like that. Love does not rejoice in wrongdoing. It does not rejoice in unrighteousness. Love does not rejoice in unrighteousness. It turns away from those things that portrays evil as being good. Love hates to see injustice being exercised towards any person or any group of people. It's a sad thing that we live in a world today where evil is glorified. Evil is paraded as being good. A world that rejoices in wrongdoing. And you see that time and time again on television. You see it in movies. You see it on social media. Maybe it's time that we as Christians reassessed what we actually watch on television. Because it is there, perhaps more than anywhere else, that we see entertainment rejoicing in things that are evil. How much has television contributed to the acceptance and in fact now even the glorying in homosexuality? True love doesn't rejoice in things that are wrong like that. It stands against those things. I believe even this year, 2021, Cadbury's cream eggs in their advertisement for that product have their first homosexual kiss advertising their cream eggs. People will rejoice that Cadbury's have eventually come to that point, but they are rejoicing in that which is evil. How often we see adultery portrayed in the media, and people rejoice in that entertainment. How often we see immorality, deceit, immodesty. Think of how the people were out in their thousands when the Republic of Ireland decided in a referendum to allow abortion. And they were out cheering and rejoicing. What were they rejoicing in? They were rejoicing in evil. They were rejoicing in that which was wrong. It's the same with euthanasia. There's a big push at the minute to try and bring in laws that will allow euthanasia in our country. And I've no doubt that if, or perhaps maybe the way our country is going, when such laws eventually do come in, there will no doubt be rejoicing and people will be praising the government for taking such a stand, when in actual fact they will be rejoicing in what is evil. We are full of consumerism today. Buy now, pay later. And people get into all kinds of debt and exploitation. And yet these are things that people are rejoicing in. Brethren, as believers, one of the ways in which love manifests itself is it does not rejoice in wrongdoing. It sees wrongdoing and it doesn't take delight in it. It isn't entertained by it. Indeed, it is saddened and broken-hearted by it. Let us be people of love, biblical love, and let us not rejoice in that which is wrong. May God help us in practical ways to implement this. Have a good day, folks.